Hi Taurus, this is your reading for the week of March 30th, or when you hear this and it resonates, and it will not be for every Taurus. Taurus, as I started reading for you, and I was really tuning in to what Spirit wanted to say today, and I had a feeling that they were holding your heart gently with a lot of, ironically, pink, which I hadn't planned on wearing. But it really is with that sense of them holding your heart in a way where I feel as though you're being told now, Taurus, whatever emotions you have locked away because they were too difficult to deal with, now you can trust that two things. One, that whatever is coming up relating to grief now, if it's feeling disproportionate to the situation, if it's not just a sadness or a disquiet, but if it is a real heart, you may be having old grief triggered. The thing is, Taurus, as we've mentioned before, earth signs tend to hold emotions in their body. And Taurus, you're a very heart-centered earth sign. So sometimes when there's too much coming at you, especially as kids when we don't learn how to regulate emotion, when too much is coming at you, you can shut it down. You can kind of go cold. The nervous system, when it's challenged, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. The shutting down of emotion, pushing it into the body, is the equivalent of a freeze. And so if that's happened around grief, which is such a deeply difficult emotion to deal with for most people, because it's so deep, because it goes so deep, very often we'll shut it off and we won't realize it's still in there until a current situation triggers it. So if that is happening for you, Taurus, that's actually a good thing. Now, what you're being told here, the other two cards that really come up for you around the grief card is to really lean into the understanding that no matter what you know about a situation, no matter what you think you know is the truth, that there's more going on that you might not know. And that trust that there is something bigger at play. There is a wisdom beyond yours that is helping to, not just helping to, it's just involved in, it is present in every single thing. And you're being reminded to take God with you. So if this is getting stirred up, and I love it, the chaos card came out for you as I was questioning the grief. And this goes along with what I was feeling earlier and hadn't said. Thank you for the reminder, Spirit, which is that because the earth is in such a state of chaos, because structures around us are being broken down like everywhere on all levels in every quadrant, and structures are something that Taurus likes very much. We're very comfortable with structures. That can really destabilize our emotions in a way where, in fact, it actually helps us to get in touch with the things we've been able to lock away. Because when we've got too much coming at us, from the chaos situation, from the energy we're picking up as being, part of the group consciousness and very empathic, what it can do is it can really lead us into little cracks in our defenses where we've shut things away and now all of a sudden we can't anymore. You might find yourself, instead of going into grief, going into anger, going into rage. There are many different ways that you can counter all of those delicate feelings that you have, but you're being told, okay, now the bottom card on the bottom of the deck is worry. Why do we think that worrying about something is going to make it better or easier? It's not. And it's just another face of fear. So what you're being told, my very dear Taurus people, is use this time as much as you can. If you're feeling destabilized, remember there's a bigger picture. Remember that you are empathic and you're probably picking stuff up. Lean into God. Remind yourself every day there is divine presence in everything. When you find yourself worrying, especially if it's about a situation that is currently creating deep sadness for you or triggering things that feel disproportionate to what's actually going on, check in with where you might be carrying things from the past that you haven't identified. And again, this is a wonderful time for you to be able to. I just feel like this is so important because this is a time in which, Taurus, you can choose to become the master of your feelings in a way where you get to really live them fully. Because a lot of the things that you've lived are the shoulds, what you needed to do. Just keep it going, manage it, deal with it, get things done. And often, in terms of caring for other people, you haven't always really been able to get in touch deeply with your feelings because of shutting them away if they've been too uncomfortable, and because of your need to take care of other people. So wherever that comes from, you're being told now is the time. Systems are breaking down. Do your very best not to worry about it. Lean into God presence, divine presence, especially when you feel those things coming up, especially when there are things about yourself that you don't like. Because usually, if we think of grief as being the deepest sorrow, there are other layers that you'll get to before that. And sometimes it's shame and guilt and feeling insecure and feeling isolated and feeling like many different layers that you can get to before you actually get to that core. And so what Spirit is saying is whatever that is for you, remember, this is your opportunity to start living with this beautiful heart that's being held in pink energy so that you can really, really allow yourselves now to experience love as a joyful thing rather than something that is a responsibility or an obligation. You can start looking at the possibility of relationships as being something that are nurturing to you rather than challenging and burdensome. And that is what I wish for you, my very dear, dear Taurus. And so does Spirit. Okay? I'm leaving you with that for now. All the best. Much love.